Putting those two together, the 27-inch scale length Viper Baritone and the 24.75-inch scale length standard side by side made me realize something. The bodies are aligned. Obviously the scale is longer on the baritone, but it's not only that. The bridge and tailpiece had been pushed back as well. Some more interesting stuff going on with the baritone. It has the bare knuckle pickups, which are coil splittable, and it has the EMG PA2 boost. That was all the way down to drop G. You're probably wondering, can you tune down to drop G in your regular scale, Les Paul, V, or whatever you have? And the answer is yes, you can do it, but the result is not gonna be as good as with a baritone guitar. A lot of people, including friends of mine, have started using baritones instead of the 7 and 8 string guitars that they were used to. The benefit, of course, is that you have the comfort of the thinner neck and 6 strings that most of us are used to. If you're not familiar with what a baritone guitar is, it basically has a longer scale length, as I already said, the distance between the nut and the bridge. The longer the scale length, the higher the tension of the strings, and you can tune down without having them too slackened or losing intonation or going out of pitch every time you strum. The other benefit is that you can use thicker gauge strings without getting uncomfortable. This one is tuned all the way down to drop G with 1372. This is one big chunk of a guitar. What do we have for the specs though? We have solid mahogany body, a set through solid, I hope, mahogany neck. Then there's the 27-inch scale length, which makes it a baritone, 12-inch radius and 24 extra jumbo frets. It is a baritone and it feels huge. This one is a bit modified, Goto back locking tuners, bare knuckle cold sweat in the neck position, bare knuckle aftermath at the bridge, both coil splittable to this push-pull pot, 3-way switch, EMG PA2 boost with a switch, and Tone Pro bridge and tailpiece both locking. Consistency is the name of the game with ESP. I did not expect to see anything different in the cavities. They were perfectly done, shooting paint in both of them. This one still has the ground wires from the original EMG pickups, and for a reason. Something else that I'm used to seeing in ESP standard and custom guitars, you see those two seam lines. They use a piece of wood to mask the neck joint and then make the cavity of the pickup look flush. Same immaculate Japanese craftsmanship in the bridge cavity. These stock active EMG 8160 are out of here. They had to make way for the passive bare knuckle pickups. You're not gonna see the particular model written down, but I know what it is. It's bare knuckle cold sweat. All of them have this bare knuckle logo on the back, hand wound in the UK. This is the battle worn finish. It was chosen to match the one of the aftermath, and this particular aftermath was in one of my guitars, actually the ESP Snakebite, the black one, but I didn't like it in the Snakebite, so I sold it to my friend and he's using it in this guitar. He did not enjoy how the set sounded though, the aftermath in the neck position, so he chose to go with the cold sweat from the neck and the aftermath for the bridge. And honestly, he's not too happy with the cold sweat as well, but he's gonna experiment some more with this guitar. Both are splittable through this push-pull pot, and in the cold sweat it's the outer coil that's active when it's split. The aftermath uses the inner coil when it's split. Usually when someone does a conversion from active to passive in these guitars, they remove the ground wire as well, but in this case we have the EMG PA2 boost that features a 9-volt battery in the back, so we need these. Something that I didn't realize about the Dimebag style traction speed knobs. I always thought that these were just your regular speed knobs with something glued to the side, but nah, these are actually burned in and pushed out. These are achieved through heat. A hot solder tip or something like that pushes in and the excess material forms on the wall like this. The drawback being that you don't see the numbers anymore because they're blocked from the top side. Yeah, but let's be honest, who looks at the knob numbers anyway? They do grip a little bit better and they certainly help with the push-pull function. Am I gonna be able to measure the pickups with the PA2 in the chain? Nope, I thought so. I've unlocked the bridge and tailpiece to demonstrate it to you. This is the Tone Pro locking bridge. Locks through 1.5mm bolt here on the side. It's metric, thumb wheel and screwdriver adjustable. The tailpiece is also Tone Pro, locks with 1.5mm Allen bolt. I mentioned that the bridge and tailpiece had been moved in the Baritone. Let's measure by how much. The distance between the tailpiece and the outer edge is 5 inches. The regular one 5.5, so the bridge and tailpiece had been moved half an inch. The Mammoth neck has a set-through neck construction made out of mahogany, features white binding and black side dot inlays. The fingerboard is made out of ebony and it features mother of pearl dot inlays, the mother of pearl logo at the 12th fret with the ESP written on it, and the bone nut. It has the typical Viper body that features the same colorways, one on the top here, one on the top horn, one on the lower horn, and this one on the bottom. I thought I was imagining that the colorways on the Baritone are a little bit different, but when I put them side by side, they're pretty much the same, no difference. Just your typical Eclipse style headstock, the waving flag that features white binding, the Viper logo and the white ESP logo. One-way Gibson style truss rod that is covered by this black waving flag truss rod cover, white on the bottom, gloss black on the top. The nut measures at 43mm or 1.69 inch. The 12th fret is at 52mm or 2.04 inches. Not that much thicker than the regular Viper as well. The regular one was 21mm, this one is 21.5 or 0.84 inch. Thickness at the 12th fret, roughly 0.90 inch. Honestly, it doesn't feel that much different from the regular Viper. The body thickness of the Baritone is 1.83 inch, a little bit thicker than the standard Viper, which is at 1.80 inch. The fingerboard radius of the regular Viper felt somewhere between 12 and 14. It is solid 12 here in the Baritone. It has all the measurements and the profile of a thin U neck, but it feels chunky to me. The back looks like a regular Viper as well. You have the lower cutaway here, the belly cutaway on the top and the set-through neck construction, and I want to compare this one to the regular Viper to see if there are any differences between the two. Here's the Baritone and here is the regular Viper. They seem pretty similar. The electronics compartment holds a couple of interesting things. First of all, it was done perfectly. It's made by ESP Japan, of course, shooting paint everywhere, immaculate. The volume pot is push-pull CTS by bare knuckle. I have one of these outside of the guitar. I sell them in the shop. This one is 280k, the one in the guitar is 550k. It is short shaft. Next up, just your regular 3-way pickup selector switch. You've probably noticed the 9V battery compartment, and yes, this used to have EMG pickups, so you're probably thinking you don't need this anymore, but it does have a 9V battery in it and a cable that goes to the electronics to this guy. This is the EMG PA2 active preamp boost, and I'm gonna bring the specs on screen now. The PA2 is a boost preamp you can mount to your guitar and turn on and off via mini toggle switch. It's a perfect solution if you want to increase your instrument's overall volume or for solos to push an amp to the edge of breakup into overdrive. It has a built-in trim pot, so you can preset the amount of boost that you're getting from it to up to 20 decibels. The downside, of course, being that you have to preset the amount of boost that you want and then close up the electronics, but the upside is better because you have a mini switch. It's not like the afterburner, you have to rotate a pot or push-pull. The PA2 is basically the third option I've tried to boost guitars. The AB220 afterburner works by rotating, and the regular AB that was in the Grinch works with a push-pull option. Out of the three options, honestly, I think I would prefer the PA2 because I prefer my boost to be on a flip of a switch. I don't want to rotate some pots or push-pull. This is what the cover for the electronics looks like. Shielding on the back, gloss on the top, held in place by 6 screws. And this is the 9V battery box. You've seen this in my ESP Snakebite Iron Cross videos. ESP is using this pretty regularly after 2008. The set through neck made out of mahogany is finished in gloss. It has a volute near the headstock, the ESP standard series logo. There used to be a sticker saying made in Japan here. The Goto back locking tuners, I removed one of these, I'm gonna show it to you. And the serial number reads Standard Series 09 as in 2009. This is what the Goto back locking tuner looks like, made in Japan. Goto logos on a couple of places. Black oval jack plate and the strap buttons had been replaced with the Lox brand. This one had been moved from the back to the upper horn for better balance. I'm gonna set the Viper Baritone in A standard with the 6-string Baritone Slinky set 13 to 72. This is the first time I'm seeing this transparent pack. The $1,000,000 question, of course, is the 72 gonna fit through the Goto tuner? Yup, didn't put up any fight at all. Oops. Here it is, goes in like in butter. Honestly, I was expecting the Baritone to be much heavier. It feels heavier because of the huge neck dive that it has. Let's compare it to the standard Viper. Not a huge difference, but the balance again, it's much worse in the Baritone. Now let's hear the Baritone in drop G. And now a guest appearance by the Kenny Hickey Baritone that I featured a while ago. It has some cool modifications now, a blacked out hardware, the bridge and tailpiece, the knobs, and a brand new Dimarzio D-Activator X pickup. Surprise, surprise, out of these two I seem to prefer the cheaper Kenny Hickey Schecter. The scale length is only half an inch shorter at 26.5, but it feels much more like a regular guitar to me. Now let's hear it in drop B. Now I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't like the Viper Baritone for the same reason I didn't like the LTD Grinch. These are not made for us regular Joes, these are for tall people like Hetfield and my friend. I am your average 5'8". This, combined with the neck dive that even the strap button doesn't cure, results in a guitar that feels weird to me. Another thing that I didn't like are the bare knuckle, aftermath and cold sweat pickups. They're amazing in other guitars, but in this particular one they felt strange and lacking in gain. My friend does not enjoy them too much as well, so I think next time we see this guitar it's gonna have some sort of Fishman signature pickups in it. Keep in mind that everything I've said so far is subjective, it's my personal opinion. If you're used to baritones, you're probably gonna love the Viper. If, however, you're gonna be tuning below A standard, you better be careful which pickups you choose, or you're gonna lose some clarity. The EMGs are fine, but they seem to get a little muddy below A standard. Let's hope the Fishman pickups make this ESP Viper complete.